So let's start off. This is going to be interesting right out the bat because I've heard of avant-garde metal, but I'm not exactly sure of what the hell it is. Let me actually zoom in here a little bit more. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, avant-garde. So I need to look up on YouTube some avant-garde stuff. I got to be informed about what I'm choosing here. Top 10 greatest avant-garde metal bands. Okay. Would that be like Avatar? Let's see here. Let's check out. Let's get a. Let's. Okay, I've seen enough here. Avant-garde metal. Listen, it's not the absolute worst. It gets a D tier. It's very strange, but there is definitely it's bordering on. Listen, we had a very small sample there. I'm gonna give it a D. Avant-garde death metal, though, that deserves an F. I don't know what that sounds like, but death metal is just not really my cup of tea in general. And just adding that weirdness that we just witnessed here, it gets a definite F. Okay, it's an F. War metal. Let me scroll down here a little bit. War metal / raw black death metal. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, what is war metal? You know, like what is that exactly? Did they play it? Did they play that in Iraq? You know what I mean? Like, what is war metal? Let's see what war metal is. War metal. Okay, war metal. Okay, war metal examples. I gotta know like what is war metal? Yeah, let's see. Is this guy gonna?
Hey guys, Zach Miller.
Okay, I don't want to hear the explanation. I just want to know what it sounds like. Okay, this. I gets an F tier. That was, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? I mean, that's not at all interesting to me at all. It's just noise. Next, we have atmospheric / ambient black metal. Anything associated with black metal is automatically F tier. Black metal is the absolute worst type of metal that there is. It's horrible. I don't care if it's ambient. I don't care. I just don't care. It's terrible. Gothic metal. We got to find some gothic metal examples. Gothic metal examples. You don't know about that? It says the plague is here. There's a lot more. I don't know about that, man. Evolution of gothic metal. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Okay. Typo net. Okay. So gothic metal, it's at least listenable, okay? It's not absolutely atrocious. It's not my thing, but it's not atrocious. It has its place in the world. So gothic metal, I'm going to give them a C tier grade, okay? I agree, Plague. C tier is good. Dead King also says I'd put it in C. Yes, 100% a C. Progressive metal. Now, this is going to be controversial because the progressive metal that I've been associated with or that I have listened to or that I know about is very riff-focused. And while riffs can be cool, if there's no song there in terms of a nice hook, it loses me. And progressive seems to be directly correlated to length of a song. And you know that I'm not a fan of long songs. Progressive metal, to me, and I know Metal Burb, if you're watching this, you're going to be upset. Progressive metal gets a D tier for me. I'm just not into progressive metal at all. I just am not into it. It's so long. There's riffs everywhere. It's just not my cup of tea. Progressive black metal, F. You know, we can just make this very easy. Let's find all the black metals, and we're going to put it all in F. Because black metal is absolutely atrocious. All right, let's see. Let's see. We got any more? If you see any more black metal, let me know, and it's going in the F tier. Yeah, clip that and send it to Metalburb. He'll hate me. Progressive death metal. Now, this is very interesting because progressive death metal, I feel like, post black metal. I don't even know. Yeah, that sounds just atrocious. Progressive death metal. Now, I don't know exactly what that sounds like. So we need to get an example of it, because to me, death metal is all the same. It's just blast beat central. Dimmu Borgir is progressive death metal. Is that true? Is Dimmu Dimmu Borgir Symphony. Okay. Let's just see progressive death metal examples. Okay, we need to hear what this is all about. Top 10 greatest progressive death metal bands. Okay, so is the Faceless like one of? Okay, let's see here. Archspire. Yeah, I know that guy does the fast thing. Okay, I've heard enough. All right. Listen, it's heavy. I can see the appeal. It's not my thing, but I see the appeal. Okay? I will give progressive death metal a C tier grade. Now, progressive power metal. Now, if there's one thing... Oh, by the way, I got to put Avant-Garde. Okay, so yeah, Avant-Garde death metal is like the highest F. Progressive power metal. Now, power metal is really close to black metal in terms of being awful. I'm not a fan of power metal in any stretch of the imagination. I will put it above black metal, but progressive power metal gets an F tier grade. Absolutely atrocious. Symphonic death metal. Okay. Symphonic death metal. Again, it's one of those genres. I see the appeal. It's okay. I mean, find some bands that are examples of symphonic death metal, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I feel like a friend of mine's band is a good example of that. Symphonic death metal. Let's see what this is about. Okay, see what I mean? It's just blast beats and then like with some stuff. Oh, Septic Flesh is an example of symphonic death metal. Okay, I've heard all I need to hear. I'll put it above. I'll put it out here, out in front, but it still gets F. Septic Flesh was absolutely awful. Okay, and I know that Dead King hates me now. Dead King in the chat hates me now, but that's just the way it goes here. Okay, I'm very honest. Septic Flesh, I'm not a fan of that at all. Plagueis here says with ... He is upset too. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to upset you, okay? Listen, I'm not here to make friends, okay? I'm here to be honest. This stuff is all trash. See everything here in the F tier? Trash. Symphonic metal. If symphonic metal is like Nightwish, that also gets an F tier. I understand it, huh? I like Septic Flesh, but they aren't for everyone. I swear, if you put symphonic and deathcore in F, I'm gone. Listen, don't threaten me with a good time, Plagueis here, okay? Black thrash. Let's hear some examples of black thrash. I have a feeling this is going to be absolutely... Symphonic metal stuff like Nightwish and Epica. Yeah, absolutely trash. Top 10 thrash bands which influenced black metal. Okay. 90s black slash. I can just tell. Like, listen, anytime you got a bunch of guys with sunglasses on, one guy's not wearing sunglasses, they all have leather jackets, leather pants, it's not going to be good. And it has, I'm guessing this is black metal related. We're going to put that in the F tier as well, okay? Black thrash is Marduk. I don't even know what Marduk is. Is that a type of a duck? Progressive thrash. How can you be progressive thrash? I'm going to put that in the what tier because I'm very confused by that statement. Does that mean you just go thrashy or longer? I don't know. Thrash metal. Okay, now we're getting into like some like real. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, a lot of these are pretty lame. Okay, now we're getting into like real subgenres. Like these were all like sub genres. Now we're getting into some. Okay, thrash metal. A lot of my metal background is very thrash oriented. You know, like Trivium, or even some Lamb of God, which I know this isn't really considered thrash, but, you know, just bear with me. Thrash metal, I think, definitely has its place in history. They have a lot of, we have the big four thrash bands. I think that thrash really, paved the way for a lot of the stuff we hear today. You know, one of my favorite bands when I first got into it was, when I first got into metal, metalcore rather, was As I Lay Dying, and they have a lot of thrash in there. I think for me though, I give thrash metal a B tier grade. Now, Dead King says S tier or high A, but to me it gets a B. It's not my favorite, but it's part of my roots for metal, so I can appreciate it. Death thrash. I don't know. So, like, I guess that means, like, death metal and thrash together. Listen, I don't know. I'm just not a big death metal guy. I'm going to put this in the what tier because I'm just tired of looking up examples of all these. Okay, technical death metal and brutal death metal. Oh, my God. All right, let's make this real simple. Technical death metal, which I think is probably more so my friend's band. They're very talented guys. I think, though, it's not really my thing. Technical death metal, I'll give a D tier. Brutal death metal, I'm going to give it an F because, listen, it's just blast. It's all just blast beats, okay? Let's be honest here. Death metal is just a one-way go green sign to just do blast beats, and it's very boring. Second wave black metal, F. Melodic death metal. Melodic death metal. I don't get any subgenre of death metal because it's all just blast beats. So melodic death metal, I'll give a D tier to. Now doom metal, it's very slow. I don't mind slow, but it's very, very, very slow. I think doom metal overall gets a D. We'll do D for doom, okay? We'll do D for doom. Now, groove metal. I love groove. I love groove in the music. I got to scroll down here so you guys can see these. Groove is fun. I like to groove. I think groove metal, which is, like Lamb of God and that kind of stuff, I will give groove metal, and this is going to be controversial, but I'm also going to give this a B tier grade above thrash metal. I know that's going to be a little bit controversial maybe to some people here in the chat. Alternative metal. Okay. So what are some examples of alt metal bands? Alternative metal bands. There's like Poppy, I guess, would be one, right? Godsmack, Shinedown, okay, stuff like that. I guess it's just like a code word for butt rock a lot, okay? I think alternative metal though, there's some bangers out there. Let's be honest. There are some bangers. So I'm actually going to give this a B tier above thrash metal, but not as high as groove metal. I love my groove metal. I think groove metal is cool. All right, melodic metalcore. Now, melodic metalcore. That just means, to me, when I hear melodic metalcore, that just means riffs with clean vocals in 3 choruses. It's not bad. It's not my preferred style, though. But I will give this a B tier as well. I'll give it a high B. It's not my thing overall, but it's okay. Progressive metalcore. This is going to get a C tier for me. Again, progressive metalcore is just, whenever I hear progressive, it's just a license to have a long song. There's very few long songs that I like. I'm sorry, but I just can't get into it. Prog metalcore is for me. Yeah, exactly. All right. Metalcore itself. Metalcore is arguably the greatest subgenre that metal has to offer. It gets an absolute S tier for me. I know some people will say metalcore isn't real metal. Listen, take off your Slayer jacket from 1999, take a shower, and go eat some dinner, okay? I've had enough of that crap that I've seen on the internet about metal dying in the 90s. Metal sucked in the 90s, okay? I'm just going to say it right now. Absolutely trash. Metalcore is better, okay? Modern deathcore. Now, I like that they use the distinction modern deathcore. Dead King says metalcore is great, though I dropped it down to an A tier for me. I can understand that. Modern deathcore. So we got like Brand of Sacrifice. We have Carcosa. We have Lorna Shore. There's so many good modern deathcore bands. I think for me, modern deathcore. Because here's the thing, right? There's the modern deathcore bands that really stand out, and then there's some that are, they're very average. So for me, modern deathcore gets an A tier grade. We'll give it an A. Industrial metal. Now, here's the thing with industrial metal. I can appreciate industrial elements in other types of songs, but straight up industrial, like Rammstein and stuff like that, not really my cup of tea. It's definitely better than a lot of this other crap that is on this list. So for me, industrial metal will get a C tier. We'll get a C tier grade above progressive metalcore. Industrial death metal. I'm just going to put that in the what tier because I don't know what the industrial black metal. I don't even know what that is, but I can tell it is garbage. You know why? Black metal. New Deutsch Heart. No idea what that is. What? Grindcore. Now, grindcore is very heavy. I shouldn't say it's heavy, right? It's fast, and the songs tend to be short. But it's still pretty unlistenable, so it gets a D tier for me. Avant-garde grindcore. Now this is something I got to see an example of. Avant-garde grindcore. This is going to be very interesting. Napalm Death is avant-garde grindcore. Well, I know they have a song that's 4 seconds long, so that's very cool. I like that. Let's hear what this is all about. Okay. Listen, it's just like, it sounds like, when you're watching a movie from the 80s and you have like the bad boys. It sounds like that's what they'd put on, when they're like bullying or beating up one of the preppy guys, okay? To me, I'll give this a D as well. It's pretty similar, I guess. Avatar is very avant-garde. Yeah, Avatar is okay. Now we have hardcore. Hardcore is okay. Hardcore is very samey in a lot of ways. I know there's a lot of, like Earth Crisis and that kind of stuff, which kind of started it all off. Some hardcore is really good, but a lot of it sounds very similar. To me, hardcore gets, I'm going to give it a B tier above alt metal. Hardcore gets a solid B for me. There's some that I like, a lot that's kind of eh. Experimental metal. Now, I don't know what you would consider that. I'm going to give that a what tier because I'm not really entirely sure what to make of that. Now, gent. Some people will say that gent is not even really a genre, but it kind of is. You know, you think of like Periphery, you think of After the Burial. They're very gent. I like gent. I do, especially if they can mix in some cool breakdowns and like, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for the off time, off feel kind of weirdness. Gent gets an A tier grade from me. Proto metal. Don't know what the hell that is. Heavy metal. Now, so just like traditional heavy metal, so like Metallica, that kind of stuff. It's okay. It's okay. I think that's the thing, right? Like, it's not anything that I'm going out of my way for. So I think traditional heavy metal will get a C tier for me, but it'll be towards the front. I think it'll be actually a high C. S tier for me. Grew up with my dad blasting that stuff. Yeah. New wave. Okay, I'm not even going to bother with that. New wave of Swedish. Yeah, I don't care about any of this. Depressive. What the fuck? You guys seeing this? What the hell is this? What? Depressive, suicidal black metal? Absolute F tier. I don't know what the hell that means. New wave of American heavy metal. What would the new wave of American heavy metal be? Like, what are some bands that would well, yeah, we got to actually look that up. Depressive, suicidal black metal. Okay, depressive black metal. I have a feeling this is going to be oh. I guess it's blocked. Interesting. Let's see. Absolute trash. I don't need to hear any more of that. A new wave of American heavy metal. What would this be? New wave of American heavy metal. Dog shit. Yes, exactly. New wave of American heavy metal. So we got like Unearth, Avenged Sevenfold. Some of these are like, okay. New wave of American heavy metal. I do like a lot of those bands. So I'm going to actually give new wave of American heavy metal A tier grade. Sludge metal, F. Stoner doom, F. Progressive doom, F. Glam metal, F. Speed metal, F. Power metal, F. I made that very easy. We went through a lot of subgenres. All trash. Listen, all hot garbage. Sludge metal, boring. Stoner doom. I don't even know what the hell some of this stuff is. But glam metal, I mean, come on. What is this? You know what I mean? That stuff almost killed metal. I mean, let's be honest. Speed metal, it's just stupid. Sounds all the same. Power metal, that vocal has got to go. Nobody can ever do a power metal vocal ever again. Okay. New metal. Now, not even Dragon Force. I'm not a fan of Dragon Force. I'm being totally honest with you. I think that Herman Lee is a very talented guy. But if we're being honest, it's just not my thing. And actually, it's not good. I mean, let's just be honest. New metal. Here's the thing with new metal. The bands that you instantly associate new metal with are very good. Limp Bizkit. Korn. You think of bands like that. Very good. But the other side of new metal is that there's also a lot of new metal that's not good at all. And I learned that because back on Twitch a long time ago, I was streaming and we did a new metal tournament, and a lot of the new metal was garbage. But a lot of it, like a lot of like the top tier stuff is very good. But I will give new metal a high B grade, right below melodic metalcore. I think there's like the top tier new metal is awesome, and I love that a lot of new metal's kind of coming back, especially like like new metalcore and stuff like that. But I think new metal gets a B overall. Folk metal, that just sounds awful. I don't. We gotta actually let's listen to an example of this. Folk metal. You associate new metal with Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, etc., and then you have some awful stuff, top bands, and John. Exactly right, Dead King. You think of like the top tier stuff, but there's a lot of really bad new metal. Folk metal examples. The hell are we doing here? Okay, folk metal. This like who listens to this? Who? I want to know who. F tier. Old school death metal. F. Old school death. Okay. Old school deathcore. Now, this is going to be kind of controversial. I know a lot of people think of like old Suicide Silence. They think of old Bring Me the Horizon. I never got into the older deathcore stuff. I think old school deathcore gets a C tier for me. I really much prefer the new stuff. I prefer the modern deathcore. Old school deathcore, not great. It's okay. There's some bangers, but overall, Avant-garde black metal. Awful. Modern death metal. I would say that modern death metal is definitely better than some of its predecessors, but to me, it still gets a D tier grade. Funeral Doom, no thanks. Epic Doom, no thanks. Drone Doom, no thanks. Dark metal, nope. Gothic Doom, nope. Progressive deathcore. Progressive death. Look at this. Look at this F tier, man. I'm not messing around. Progressive deathcore. Listen. I think that progressive deathcore will get a high D for me, because deathcore is kind of on the fringe for me. Other than, like I said, some of that really good modern stuff. But progressive deathcore. Just it never interests me. It never interested me at all. It never got me interested whatsoever in that sphere. To me, it's just kind of drony. It kind of just goes on and on and on. It's just kind of boring. Cyber grind. I don't even want to look that up because I'm afraid I'll get banned on Twitch. Neoclassical metal. What the frig is this? Neoclassical metal. Let's see what this is all about. What we got here? George Washington? Okay. Absolute F tier. That sounded god awful. Death grind. Okay, death grind examples. We got to hear some death grind. Neoclassical is a goddamn meme in my metal Discord server. Yeah, I mean that should be. I don't know. Listen, death grind. I mean that's just too much. Folk black metal. Automatic F. Epic metal. Actually, hold on. I'm going to find this tweet. I made a tweet some time ago. I'm going to show you this right here. The descriptor epic for metal music for some reason makes me think I'm not going to like it. True. Epic metal. D tier. Gore grind. Now this is something I got to hear. Gore grind examples. We got to hear some gore grind. 10. Oh, I love how Loudwire has a video for this. Gore grind gets a D. Grunge. Okay, now grunge. Overall, wasn't my thing, but I think grunge definitely had its place in time. You know, you think of like Nirvana, I think is probably the highlight example. Not my thing overall, but I get it. C tier for grunge. Post-hardcore. Now, here's my thing with post-hardcore, okay? It's one of those genres that I have a hard time with because it's like, it's close to being heavier, but it's also, I associate it with a lot with kind of, you know, a more higher pitched sort of whinier vocal. I think for me, post-hardcore gets a... I'll go B. We'll go B. Yes. Dance Gavin Dance. If Dance Gavin Dance is considered post-hardcore, I'm just not into it. Thrice, yeah, Silverstein. Yeah, see, like, I can get into that. Post, what the hell is post-metal? Is that for mailmen? Post-metal examples. Okay, well, this we got to figure out. 5 songs that will make you a post-metal fan. Oh, well, I doubt that, but let's see. All right, to be fair, it's not exactly awful. Is Tool considered... See, I'm not really into Tool. Post-metal... I'll give post-metal a D. Not my thing. It's not horrible, though. I get it. Actually, you know what? Okay, you guys have bullied me into it. I'll go low C. Because I just think that it's a little bit better than to be associated with this other garbage down here. Porno grind, I just don't want anything to do with that. Stoner metal, F tier, horrible. Death/doom, F. Crossover thrash. What is crossover thrash? Crossover thrash. We gotta find some. How does Loudwire have these videos? How? All right, crossover thrash. We'll give crossover thrash a low C tier grade. It's not horrible, not my thing though. I just think I don't get what the difference, but I don't get the difference between that and regular thrash. But I guess if I put it's tough because it's like, I reckon it's a tier below thrash. I guess so. Like, I guess that's, you dare put deathcore at an A tier, that is S tier all day long. I guess, like, I don't know. I guess, like, when I think of thrash metal and when I think of what I just listened to a crossover thrash, it just sounds like what Dead King said, just a tier below. Rightfully so. Technical thrash metal. I'm going to put that in the what tier. Slam death metal. Slam can be okay, but overall it's about I'd say it's probably like the high D. High D. A lot of it's really bad. A lot of it's horrible. Black gaze, no thanks. Funk metal, no. Pagan and Viking metal. I don't like anything that's associated with like I don't know. I just think of that stuff and I think of just goofy, like cosplay goofiness. Like I just no Amon Amarth then. No. I guess Amon Amarth is probably like the one standout, right? But overall, other than Amon Amarth, what else is there in this genre? Because you can't make one band the whole thing. So I guess, you know what, with Amon Amarth alone, I will give this the lowest, a low D. We'll give it above Gore Grind. Epic metal, you know what, that gets an F. I just had enough of the word epic. Blackened doom metal. I can't get into doom under any circumstance. I just can't. Blackened death metal. I guess you could consider like Lorna Shore this style. I'll give blackened death metal like a high. Oh man. I gotta go D tier. I don't know if you consider Lorna Shore that. Would you consider Lorna Shore like a blackened death metal? Because I respect them. But what else? What blackened death metal? Behemoth. Yeah, see, I never got into that stuff, man. Okay, I'll go low C. Low C. There's a lot of those bands that I just don't see the appeal with. So let's zoom out here. This is the way it is. At S tier, we have metalcore. A tier, modern deathcore, gent, and new wave of American heavy metal. I'm trying to see if there's any that I should alter. Now, I actually feel pretty good about this list overall. Heavy metal, though, I think actually probably belongs in B. We'll go heavy metal in B. Industrial, progressive metalcore. Yeah, I mean, I feel deathcore is S tier. It's a high A. Where's Ghost? Yeah, I don't know. Like, look at the F tier, though. This just shows you how much terrible metal there is. Because, once again, you guys have got to remember that I'm correct in my opinions. We have a lot of in the what tier because I'm just not even going to bother with that. So metalcore gets the absolute S tier. There's a lot of other really strong genres. But I think, honestly, like, if I had to, like, you know, like, pick the genres that I listen to, be metalcore, modern deathcore, gent, new wave heavy metal. I do listen to some melodic metalcore, new metal. I think that these are really kind of it. Like, you know, like in the B, like A, S, and high B. We're going to do more reactions after this or just end? We can do more reactions if people want to. But I think that is my tier list there. So there you have it. We have how many in the F tier? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 33, 37 in the F tier. That's it. Those are my rankings. That is the quintessential. That's what it is, okay? If you don't agree with me, you're just wrong, okay?